Tips on Explorer of the Seas that you won't see on Royal Caribbean's website. Today I'm going to be sharing them with you, so stick around. Cabin location doesn't always matter. Why is this? Because you always want to get a balcony. If you get seasick, it's going to make all the difference in the world. And when you are leaving a port and you want to be in your bedroom, then you can just go outside and take a beautiful view of the country, city that you're in. If you have an ocean view window, that one's good, but if you get seasick, you're gonna have to take the elevator up, then you're gonna have to go to the upper deck, and in the upper deck, you're gonna get fresh air, but it's going to be quite an experience. Number 2 is all-inclusive dining and the restaurants that you have to pay for. So with the all-inclusive dining, you get 2 options. You can go to the buffet or you can go to a restaurant, and for that you get dinner reservations ahead of time, and you get to choose the time in which you go, and they have a designated table for you. Most of the time they've told us that that table is set in stone and that's where we have to sit all the time, but it's happened that they've allowed for us to sit someplace else. For example, when we go for lunch, we don't always sit at the same spot, and like once or twice for dinner, they allowed for us to sit elsewhere. If you want to go to a restaurant where you have to pay, just know that it's the same food. And I know this because from experience, I can tell you, for my birthday, we went to a steakhouse in Explorer of the Seas, and the same food that they were serving in the main diner, they had it there. The only time when I noticed that the food was completely different was in the UAE when we went on Jewel of the Seas. They had an excursion in the actual cruise, and one of those excursions included that you would get a meal of your choice, actually several meals. You would pay for it and they would give you a tour of the kitchen and so on and so on. And there the food was completely different. They gave us a risotto. It was just like out of this world. And that's the only time when I've noticed that the food is different. Number 3. Hidden free coffee and snacks completely free. So Cafe Promenade has all that you need, and this is located in that big hallway that you can overlook when you're going to your bedroom, depending on where you're staying. But in there you can find pizza, you can find bread, and there's a little bit of everything. And if you have the card for the coffee, the one that you pay for ahead of time, there they have a Starbucks, and there's where you get your espresso. But when I mean coffee that's free, I mean, for example, American coffee, that they offer it, and they also offer that in the main buffet. And if you are in the diner, I believe they also give it to you. I'm not sure about that one, but I believe so, because one time I asked for an espresso there and they brought me an espresso, but I know that was American coffee because I know my espresso, so keep that in mind. Number 4. Now I want to talk about shore excursions. And shore excursions, if you book them through Royal, it's going to cost you more money. You do want to book ahead of time because they do get full very easily, and if you wait until you are going on the actual cruise, then you're gonna be just wondering, oh my god, there's only one seat left and I'm with someone else, so most likely you're gonna have to skip that one. What you can do is that you can call Royal directly and they might be able to help you. They helped us one time in the past cruise with one of the excursions I did. If you want to just explore the ports on your own, that's also a lot of fun, but it also depends, like if you like museums or if you like catamarans and you love exploring by the water, then that's your call. But I think if you do like an itinerary ahead of time and you know what the city is all about, you can do that. The pros of going with Royal is that they have the transportation available, and then they have a guide, so in the bus they're explaining everything and they drop you off. And when you're running the numbers, just keep in mind, okay, if I do it with Royal, this is how much I'm gonna pay, but if I do it on my own, it's gonna be close to what I'll be paying. You can also find people who will offer the same services cheaper for the excursions, but just know that if you're late, Royal waits for you. If you're doing it with someone else, they leave and then you have to find your way to the next port. No bueno. Number 5 is reservations. So some shows fill up quickly, so if you don't have reservations, then obviously, well, you're not gonna be able to see the show. Most things on the cruise, you're gonna need a reservation. What you can do is that you can go to guest services and you can talk to them, and if there's any availability, like if someone doesn't go, then you might be able to get in. But just know that with cruises, you have to do things in advance. You're planning for the vacation. Don't wait until you're on the ship to make decisions because it's going to be more expensive. And by the way, in the actual cruise, they have a person who is in charge of entertainment, and there's a channel that tells you all of the events that are going on the cruise, and that includes obviously shows. Internet packages, well, you pay for one device, but it has its trick. I don't do it. But what I'm trying to say with this is that it makes all the difference. I had it when I was on the cruise. We had sea days, and the internet is actually very good, very reliable, and high speed. I do have also T-Mobile, so when I'm in Europe and I'm just exploring whatever city or country I'm in, that free internet from T-Mobile really makes all the difference. So we get unlimited data, unlimited, but it's not really unlimited. What it means is that we get high-speed data for the first, I think, like 20-30 gigs, and then after that it slows down. So if you do an Instagram live, if you do a YouTube live, it's gonna eat up the data. I know it because that happened to me. And then you get the internet on the cruise, so it compensates. But if you get the one from T-Mobile that I have, well, let's say you exceed the high-speed data, after that happens, you can send text messages and it works just fine if you want to use it for that. Even if the data high-speed package ran out, then you can still send text messages and they work just fine. So the drink packages, I want to talk about alcohol, and then I want to talk about non-alcohol. So if you get the drink package for alcohol, well, it really depends on how much you drink, and if you drink a lot every day, then it might be worth it for you. If not, then you can save that money and spend it someplace else, in the cruise or on the excursions. But let's say you want to get the drink package, for example, the soda package. I honestly don't get it. I don't drink soda anymore. Back in the day I did, but I don't drink soda anymore. And for me, I found lemonade. As you guys know, like, we didn't ask if it was included, they just gave it to us, but it turns out that it's available and you can go to the buffet and you'll find it there, or if not, you ask for it at dinner. If you want to buy a soda, then they're gonna charge the account. Honestly, I think you'll be fine with the coffee, with the water, and with the lemonade, because the lemonade is delicious. Number 8, which also has to do with the events that go on. Well, it's events that go on the cruise. So there are a lot of things that you can do on the cruise. There are events that you can attend. They have karaoke in most cruises. For example, in Explorer of the Seas, they had an arcade. They had a basketball court where people could also not only play basketball, but tennis as well. They had a rock climbing wall, and they had a pool, and it's honestly like a lot of fun. It just depends on what you want to do. But I think if you're gonna spend a day at sea, most certainly you should check out these services. Explorer of the Seas also had a spa and also had a gym. So if those are things that you want to do, for example, for free and not pay for an event or not pay for a show, then for sure look for those fun things that you can do on Explorer of the Seas without paying a penny. Number 9, which I have a video about this, is port day versus sea day. So port days are the days that you go on the excursions. That could get crowded, but just know that when it happens, they're gonna give you a number and then they're gonna ask you to sit at a specific location where they have the theater. So people go and they sit there, they have a number that they use, and then they take you outside, and then the travel guide usually has a flag, and then they guide you, hey, this is your bus, this is where you're going, and so on and so forth. I believe that only works for people who are doing it through Royal. And then obviously you have to go outside, and I've seen people with a little sign that says, oh, this excursion, so I believe that could be the third party. I've never done it through a third party. So that's a lot of fun. You get to go on the excursion, you get to explore, or if you want to do it on your own, I recommend the excursion. So now, when it comes to sea day, it goes back to what we were saying, things get filled up very quickly, so you do want to make reservations. Just know that the pool area in Explorer of the Seas is small. Small by me saying that the chairs around get filled up very quickly, and it's a lot of fun. They had games going on, they have live music going on. It's a lot of fun, but if you're going, just go early and save your spot, because it does get very, very crowded, especially on sea days. But it's a lot of fun. When you're on a cruise, even if you are on port day or on sea day, you're gonna have the best time of your life. Disembarking day. So when you disembark, just know that you have the options of leaving your bags outside of your room. I believe you leave them the night before you disembark, like at 11, you leave your stuff there. And then what they do is that they take it downstairs, and then you don't have to drag anything. They allow people to disembark, they give you a number, and then when they call that number, then you're allowed to obviously go downstairs, you pick up your bags, and then you go on the bus. Usually Royal Caribbean, for us, they offered for us to be taking from Ravenna, Italy to Venice, because Explorer of the Seas does not leave from Venice. There's no port that they leave from in Venice. Instead, you gotta go to Ravenna, and they do provide transportation for that. They do make a stop, a technical stop, and there's an area where they have food, and it's honestly a lot of fun. So I hope that these tips helped you. I want to welcome so many of you to my channel. I'm very excited. I really want to get to 30,000 subscribers, and I'm just beyond grateful. I also have Instagram if you guys want to follow me there, and I have a TikTok account. I'm going to be linking it down in the info box. With that being said, if you want to see the Royal Caribbean cruise of Explorer of the Seas, we basically went to Italy, Greece, and Croatia. I have those videos there. You'll also find the excursions, and it's going to be a lot of fun for you guys to watch and learn everything before heading on the cruise. I'm gonna end the video right here. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.